Welcome to another episode of Inside the 25. Today we welcome back a friend of the pod, Phia Gladieux, as we talk to her about her final season at Penn State and her Olympic season or her Olympic experience. So thanks for joining us today, Phia.
Thank you guys for having me again.
So we're gonna jump straight into the fan questions because those are, always our favorite part. So our first question is what is it like to play against your Team USA teammates? And I'm assuming this question means during the college season.
Yeah, it's definitely no, I wouldn't even say interesting, just because I feel like our whole careers we've been playing against each other and we all know who each other is. Like we played against and with each other since we were very little. So it really didn't feel much different. I'd say I was definitely closer with like a lot of the girls before. I would just kind of be like, friendly. Like I wasn't like super close with them, but I think after this year, just getting really close to a lot of them. It's just fun. Like it's super competitive. We're all so competitive. So it just makes it way more entertaining, I'd say. But after the games, it's always nice to say hi and give them hugs and just talk to them. And, it's just, yeah, I just say it's fun, but it's definitely not like anything super weird. We've been doing it like our whole lives. I played against my high school teammates in college, like my club teammates, all that. So it's not something that, feel like it's a small world. We're all pretty used to it.
Did the USA girls remain in contact during the season while everyone was doing their own things?
Yeah, we like I know we have like a group chat. We, stay in touch in that way every so often, not like daily. And then in the beginning mostly of the season, beginning middle of our season, we have our Olympic like roommate group chat. So like we were in a suite, so it was like eight of us. So we have our big group chat and like we would randomly check in and like just talk to each other, send pictures in that moment, like kind of like a be real moment, and then just, whatever, talk for like a minute and that was it. But I think it was nice to kind of go our own ways and everyone just kind of respect that, but also still show like, hey, how are you guys doing? That kind of thing, but not like anything too overwhelming. So yeah, we definitely do talk. Obviously, I know me, Sessa, and like Mare and Cassie and stuff are all pretty close and Charterbury. So we always text in our group chats and talk that way too. But yeah.
What's your favorite part about playing with Team USA?
I think it's just like the level of play. Once I got there, I think it was changed my game so much so quickly. Obviously just the college level versus the international level is just so different. And it's not even like obviously the skill, but like I think just the pace of play is something that I was never really used to. Like I think my skill is been at that level, but I think just like doing it quickly and under really, really quick pressure is something that really challenged me. And I haven't had that challenge in a long, long time. So I think that is like the most exciting and probably like one of my favorite things about playing with Team USA. And just, in those games, it's humbling. Like it's, it doesn't come easy. Those goals don't come easy, and those opportunities to score rarely come. And so I think that experience that I've had the last like 6 months, that's something I really want to work on and be able to kind of even up the pace of my play and be able to score under even faster pressure because it's going to be even, that much more intense. So yeah, that's probably like one of my favorite things.
And then what is your favorite memory from going to the Olympics?
Oh gosh. There are so many like cool things that happen every day, but I'd say that, like the most, it's so hard. The m most memorable was probably just like one, the opening ceremony. Like we didn't get to go to the actual on the boats, but like we got to dress up and like see everyone, and just having like that many famous athletes in one place was just like really surreal. Like seeing like Steph Curry, LeBron, like I think I'm pronouncing Sha'Carri Richardson, the track athlete, like just Simone Biles, Suni Lee, like it is really crazy. That was so awesome. And then obviously when Jason and Kylie came to our games and stuff, and that was really cool. And but those things aside, because that's all like the little fun extra things, I think like the actual field hockey part was the first game against Argentina, and just like running out from under the tunnel, like oh like I got chills. Like it was just the atmosphere in Europe like is just like no other. Obviously you guys know that, but it was really crazy. That the show out was awesome. The USA support was amazing, and just it was really like kind of under the lights too. Like it was that was by far like the moment that I was like, okay, yeah, like I made it. Like I'm here. This is happening. So it's still, I don't think, clicks sometimes, but then I think of those moments, I'm like, wow, like that is what I once watched when I was little, like those girls on that field. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, so that concludes our fan questions. Now we're gonna wing it. Um, so I kind of want to go back to the Pro League right before the Olympics. It was like your first cap ever. And I know you didn't score in your first game, despite the fact that I posted on social media that you scored in your first game.
I think it was a lot of confusion with everyone, even myself. I was like, wait, I don't like actually know. But then, yeah, based off of,
I
yeah.
want to say Tamer scored that one. I'm not
I think
100%
No,
sure.
she did.
yeah,
Okay.
She
research.
tipped it in. I just couldn't tell. You know, like people were saying, like, I thought you did. I was like, pretty sure she did, but like now you're making me wonder. So it was a whole thing. But regardless,
But
it was
yeah,
off the tip and then the shot.
But yeah, so kind of walk us through like kind of going into that first pro league, kind of where you were at, because the Olympic team hadn't been named at that point, and we knew that that was going to be basically your only massive test on the national, nope, not in national, international level before the Olympics. So kind of talk us through how like you were feeling for that.
Yeah, it was definitely very nerve-wracking. Like one, traveling like that is always super stressful. Like I'm not a bad traveler, but I just it stresses me out. So like that was its whole other thing. And then um yeah, like you said, it was really my only shot. I mean, obviously besides like the trainings and stuff, like someone can do greater practice and choke in a game and just like not be ready. And I think I had mentally prepared enough that like I wasn't even like thinking of it that way. I just kind of knew what I had to do. But I've had great conversations with David leading up to Pro League and just like very transparent of like things like before I even went down, he was very transparent about what I needed to do. Like he said, my skill is absolutely there. It's more about like the endurance, the fitness, like the pace. That's what's gonna, what you're gonna need to like level up on. And so I think I was like, all right, well, I got no other option here. So like I'm gonna go all in and get there. And so I think, I had no option. So I worked my ass off that whole time I was down there and with girls that are, already like up here with their fitness. So yeah, it was definitely challenging. But once I got to Pro League, I think it was just more of like, all right, like this is it. Like, whatever happens, happens. I was trying not to overthink it because I knew if I put too much pressure on myself, things were not going to go my way and not go well for anyone. So, yeah, I just kind of had fun with it. I knew my main focus wasn't even like to score. It was just about like creating opportunities. Like that's, what they look for is like how can you get a corner? Can you create an offensive play? Can you, how like out of your touches, how many of them are positive versus like those things. Also like on the press. Like we are so big on the press and like working hard. And so I knew I just had to do those things. I knew it wasn't like I need to score a million goals. So yeah, that was kind of my mindset. And I think being able to have those things that you're able to like really, observe, like you can see it and like there's no like it's black and white, like you did it or you didn't. And so I think the fact that I was able to do that, kind of, allowed me to get, selected. And that was just like super exciting. But yeah, the whole pro league, I had so much fun. And, like you said, that first assist was just super exciting. I like obviously on my backhand too, like it was really just an amazing experience. And obviously in GB too, like the whole yeah, you could tell throughout the tournament I started to get more comfortable and I just feel like needed more games under my belt for me to like feel that comfort and confidence. So, yeah.
How
Julia.
does what is kind of like the mental thing with like pro league because you see sometimes in games like you're playing opponents like you may be playing them back to back or like every other day and like one I think like Argentina was like one there was like a 4-0 loss and then there was like a 5-3
The
like
terrible press.
like there was just like so how do you kind of like balance that with like not getting like too high or too low during those games?
Yeah, no, that's a really great point. I think that's the biggest thing about Pro League is like you are playing the team so many times and just like so much like back every other day, or every day I should say. But we bring a certain amount of people down, so like not everyone's playing in the like every single game. It's like a rotation. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Like obviously you have like getting into a flow with like certain teammates or connections and obviously some key players are not in that game or in some others. So yeah, it definitely is like tough, but I don't think anyone lets it really like get to their head in that way of like, oh my gosh, I think it's like more just looking at it as opportunities to just grow as a team. You don't really always focus on like the result. Like obviously we want to win, obviously we want to score goals, but we want to focus on the things that like Team USA needs to get better at and like the things that we need to work on. So we look at each game as just an opportunity for us to grow. And I think that showed throughout the Paris Olympic Games. Obviously not medaling, that that stinks, but I think we ended up, we're higher up in the rankings and I think that was our biggest goal. So
All right. So post Pro League, they named the Olympic roster, and we've had a lot of people on post Olympic roster naming, so we kind of know about the entire process. But I mean, I know what my reaction was when I saw your name. It
Yeah,
was to scream it very loudly and
so
then immediately
stoked.
text Jill.
oh, thank
Um,
you guys.
We were like, yes, our girl.
I think my brother wanted to like behead me because I was screaming so loudly. Um, but that's just me as a person. What was your reaction like?
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I was actually at my sister's apartment with her and her boyfriend. And my sister was like, you just like you have to be here like with me when you like find out. So I was like, okay. She's like, Mom and Dad won't even be home. Like they'll be at work. You have to like save me. So I knew it was coming out at 8 a.m. that Monday, like for us, not for the public, just for the team. And I remember like waking up, I was like so nervous, obviously. I just like had no idea. Like I was psyching myself out. I just wasn't sure. I mean, I felt good about it, but I also you just don't know. And my sister's like, oh my gosh, like you're gonna make it, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, like that's what you think. And she was just being a typical sister. And her boyfriend was just being funny. And then I remember literally 8:01, I think the roster sent in teams. And I was like, I like hid my phone kind of because I didn't want them to see it because they were gonna be like, open it now. And I wanted to like have my time to look at it. And then she's like, did it send? Did it send? I'm like, no, 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 no. And I like went outside because she has like a front porch area. And I like opened it and like looked at it. And I just was like, put my hand over my mouth and I like my sister and her boyfriend were looking through the windows on the like little blinds, just like, and I came in and I like kind of started tearing up. She's like, I literally knew you were gonna make it. I'm like, okay, well, way to make the moment like not as special, Sarah. No, I'm kidding. But Alec was like, oh my God. And they were like, they said at first they thought I didn't because I like had my hand over my mouth or something. But yeah, that was basically that. And my sister was just like, oh my gosh. But like, obviously she was so excited. It was just funny because it was such a sisterly, like, response. But it was really exciting. I called my parents and my boyfriend and like some of my coaches and stuff. And even though it was supposed to be a little bit more confidential, I called the people that I trusted. People that I was like, listen, like this is, information that cannot be put out. But they obviously respected that. So yeah, it was just really, really exciting. So
Yeah, I was extremely excited for you. Um,
um,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like timeline wise, because then you guys played like Ireland, right?
so then we flew to
Yeah.
Ireland, yeah, and played like a practice there and played like a club team like twice or once. I don't even know.
All right. And then you guys moved into the village, which
Yes.
I think we're asking the question that no one decided to put in the fan questions, but everyone wants to know, how are the chocolate muffins?
Yes.
I was just on a podcast here at Penn State. It's called Podward State. It's like the Onward State uh what is it called? Whatever, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Anyways, they asked me that too, and they were like, "How are the chocolate muffins?" I was like, I told them I was laughing because I like in the village, I didn't know it was like I was on TikTok, but like I didn't know it was like a trending thing, like these chocolate muffins. Like I saw them, they looked fire, but I was like, oh, like, but I didn't realize like how and like much it was trending on social media. And but I got one. I remember it was like the tournament was over, we were still there. I went to the dining hall alone, like got one. It was so good. Like it was just so chocolatey. Like yeah, it was amazing. I wish I like made a video review about it if I would have known like it was that good. But yeah, that's so
Yeah.
funny.
I was expecting it in the fan questions because it was like such a big
Yeah,
thing
I know you
that I was
think.
like, someone has to
Yeah.
ask about the muffins. And no one did.
Or
It
like
made me very
anything.
upset.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what? Yeah. And no one asked too, like, so who'd you get to meet in the Olympic Village?
Yeah.
Like, who'd you,
Um,
obviously their priorities
not
pretty
asking the important
great.
questions, no. I met Suni Lee. I met Steph Curry, Joel Embiid. Who else? Probably some other people I can't even. I saw Simone Biles. I saw Katie Ledecky. I saw the one tennis player who's super famous. Um, not from Team USA, from I actually did see Coco Gauff. I saw the other guy in the dining hall from a different country who's super famous tennis player. Who else did I see? Saw Noah Lyles, saw Sha'Carri Richardson. I saw so many famous people. Met wouldn't cross that line, but the ones I did tell you I did meet is Steph, Joelle, and Suni Lee, which was pretty freaking cool. But yeah, so.
And I loved your picture. Okay, I was like obsessed with him like through the Twitter, but the pommel horse guy from the
Oh my
gymnastics.
gosh, Steven. Oh my God. Thank you for reminding me. I also met.
I love them.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It was so funny. We were walking by my team. Meredith's shoulder was like, yeah, isn't that Steven from like Penn State? I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, Steven, can we get a picture? I go to Penn State. And he was so sweet and adorable. So yeah, that was really cool too. Oh, and I don't want to butcher her name. The rugby. I
Mar.
oh yeah, I met her too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I literally texted Jill the other day. I'm like, one of our fun questions is going to be, well, it has to be, who do you think on the team would do the best at Dancing with the Stars?
Oh, that's funny. That would be a good question.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, I can't think of who I think would be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
would
think
say
if OBC was on the team, it would be OBC,
Yeah.
100%.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I can't even like think of, yeah. I didn't say a lot of us. Honestly, Meg Rogers, I mean, I call her that, but I'm so bad at pronouncing her last name, so I didn't want to butcher it, but she would actually, she has some rhythm, but other than that, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't go as far as Dancing with the Stars rhythm, but yeah, we're not super, good dance people, I'd say.
Didn't get
That's like the whole point of the show is to like have growth.
True. Or maybe, Brooke or Emma, they would do really well.
I could see like
They love to dance and like they're so little, so I feel like they could be good.
okay, so what was it like to score in the Olympics? That whole play, like
Yeah,
it's
that was
just
insane.
I
Yeah,
was like screaming.
yeah. That was really cool just because like the whole buildup I think made it so awesome. Ashley Hoffman's defensive save was like literally I was watching, I think I was watching it the other day for some reason, but I rewatched it and I like zoomed like it literally was on the line. Like it was crazy, the save. And then just her outlet up and everything. I just remember like as soon as Sessa got the ball, I was like back post, back post. Like I need to sprint to back post right now because that is like what they like burn in our brains. And thank God. But I sprinted to back post and I just remember like seeing the video, the ref sprinting and but no, I after Megan got the ball. I was like, okay, like I literally just need to be glued here. Like if it gets through, all I have to do is deflect it. I'm like, this is a goal. And then so she passed a beautiful pass through, but the I think the goalie like or someone got a tiny touch and so it went like behind me. But I knew in my head, I was like, all right, well the goalie is fully on like far post right now. Like she was taking away the angle that Megan had. So I was like, she's out of the cage right now. Literally, all I have to do is just like backspace shot it, shoot it as hard as I can, and it's gonna be a goal. Like in my head, the ball wasn't even, I didn't even hit it yet, and I was like, this is a goal. Like that was just like my mentality. And so I remember just like shooting, backspace shot, and like literally celebrated before it even fully went in. The goalie got a piece of it, like a tiny piece. But it was just so exciting. I think because like I was like this build up and like I know it's gonna be a goal right now. It was just and then like me and Sessa like screamed and were just so excited, jumped in our arms, and the crowd was just like erupted, and it was just so like so exciting. Like it was just such a fun, exciting game, and like to be able to score at that level was just awesome. Also, like just the build up, like it was just insane. So yeah, it was really exciting.
Yeah, that goal was definitely like a highlight reel goal. I know I posted it and then I like texted Hoffman right after and I was like, bro, I'm gonna be talking about this defensive save until I'm like right because that it was just such a good defensive save and then
It
the
was
build up
textbook.
was just like it was textbook. It was so
Yeah.
perfect.
I
Um,
know, it was awesome. And then like I remember afterwards it got posted on like CBS, like the actual Instagram. I'm like, this was crazy. And I'm like, oh, that's me. And, like it was just so the amount of people that were like tagging me and it was just so funny. But no, it was really cool for sure.
So when we interviewed you the last time, you said that one of the biggest things you wanted to work on was kind of getting back on offense and not playing like a super high forward that kind of just hangs up top. I can't think of what it's called right now, like
Cherry
blanking.
picking?
Yeah. So do you think that like you kind of improved on that throughout both like the Olympic season but also throughout the college season this year?
Absolutely. So because at the, with USA Field Hockey, like that's not a thing. Like unless you're specifically told like to do that, you have to like work to get underneath the ball for the press and also like be working off ball too, like at all times, on our outlet. So we had a very like specific structure for the forwards about how we wanted to like be and working off each other. Like it is very a structure thing. And yeah, so there requires a lot of just like looking and thinking, like you can't really be super internal, which is something that I did struggle with, like about where to be. Um, but I think coming into college, I think I did a way better job of just being more checked in and involved. There's definitely moments where like no doubt you're gonna like get checked out, but definitely felt like one, my fitness was just like so much higher than it ever has been, so I was able to stay more involved. But I really didn't ever find myself like all the way up in no man's land, like just chilling. Like I just knew I couldn't. So I mean, obviously, again, there's moments of that, but like not nearly as much as it used to be. So I definitely did grow in that way. On the press, I felt way just like stronger and just like smarter with how I press. I still think I have a lot to work on and grow in that specific area of the field, but definitely felt better. And I got a lot of interceptions and like turned out to be goals because of that. So, but yeah, obviously always room for improvement there.
All right, thank you so much, Fia, for joining us this week. Don't know who next week's guest is going to be because I haven't figured out the schedule yet. But we'll definitely have you back on soon to talk about probably Nations Cup or something.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you guys.